Let's go make the best pie crust. This is the all butter pie crust that I use all the time. I usually make it in the food processor, and you can see those instructions on my last video, but I know not everyone has a food processor, so I wanted to show you how to do it by hand, which admittedly is not quite as easy, but very well worth it. So I'm starting out with 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and then to that you're going to add a tablespoon of sugar and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Go ahead and give that a little mix together. Okay, to the flour, you're going to add 2 sticks of unsalted butter. This has been, let me show you, cut into 1/2-inch pieces and frozen for about 15 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and sort of toss all the butter so it's covered completely in flour. And then you wanna take the chunks of butter and literally just squeeze them between your fingers to get these shaggy sheets of dough and flour. Let me show you again. So I just take my thumb and index finger and push like that. Continue tossing as you go. It's almost kind of like puff pastry if you think about it. You're just going to end up getting layers upon layers of butter and flour. And you don't have to do it this way. You can cut it in with a pastry cutter or a fork. You want to think about it almost like blending the flour and the butter together by like that, just like that. Scientific. It only takes 30 seconds in the food processor, but this isn't that much longer. And this recipe makes enough for 1 double crusted pie. I am so excited. This is going to be for a lemon meringue pie, but with it almost being spring, my mind is definitely thinking ahead to all the fruit and berries that are going to be ready here in a couple months. Okay, this is done, and the best way I can describe it, it's like almond meal almost, but then you have these flakes or sheets, I guess, of butter and flour that have been fromaged together, I guess you could say. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the ice water about a tablespoon at a time. For this recipe, you'll need anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 cup of water, just depending on the humidity and what type of flour you're using. Now, it looks kind of crumbly, but just like the one we did in the food processor, if you squeeze it together, it holds its shape. And just like the other one, we're going to divide this between plastic wrap. Now, it may look a little crumbly right now, but as you let it rest in the refrigerator, the water will hydrate the flour. And there you go. You can still see the marbling of butter, which is always what we're looking for.